I'm doing a poke bowl. It actually originated in Hawaii, which of course is not a really an international country. It really kind of is a take on sushi, but a little bit of an easier way to make it. Sushi is obviously from Japan, Japanese. I A, don't know how to make sushi, and B, I think it would take a really long time. So I decided to do a poke bowl instead, which obviously has a lot of influence from Japan and from sushi. And it's just a really, really easy, simple, and delicious meal. So the first thing we have is I made some white sushi rice. You can use brown rice, you can use regular rice. You don't really need sushi rice. Really up to you. Then I'm using two types of fish. You can really use whatever you want. I'm using a cooked salmon, and then I'm actually using a raw tuna that I made into a spicy tuna. So when you're getting tuna, you kind of want to make sure that you're getting a sushi grade tuna so that it's safe to eat raw. A lot of supermarkets nowadays do sell a sushi grade tuna, but if they don't, I'd probably just use either get tuna and cook it. You can sear it a bit, keeping it a little bit raw in the middle is fine, even if it's not sushi grade, or just cook up some salmon. But I had some sushi grade tuna here. So the first thing I'm going to do is, I made it spicy. I made a little bit of a spicy mayo, a homemade one. So you use some mayo, some sriracha or hot sauce, whatever you really have. And then I used like a chili paste. You don't need the chili paste. I like the little kick that it adds, but you really just need the mayo and the sriracha or the hot sauce. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to grab my tuna and I'm going to put in, I like to section it so that it looks really pretty. So we first have our tuna here. So that's our tuna. And then I'm going to put also some cooked salmon here. The salmon, I just did some olive oil, salt, and pepper, nothing too crazy. So we have some salmon. You're going to see it's a very, very colorful, really so delicious. Then I have some edamame, which is a soybean, and the great thing about this recipe is you really can use whatever toppings you want. It's really, really individualized. So you can make, if you have families or you have, spouses or you live with anybody else, you can really, or partners or really anyone else that you live with, you can make, a whole toppings bar. Everybody can make their own bowl, which is what I love about this. So we put some edamame there, or soybeans. So we have already some really nice colors. I usually put mango. I'm actually making this for my husband to eat for lunch. He's allergic to mango, so I'm not going to put it in. But mango is really, really delicious in poke bowls. It's actually one of my favorite things to put in. But instead of that, I'm going to just put in some mandarin oranges, which is also a really, really delicious thing to put into poke bowls. Also, look how colorful this all is. And it's just such a happy and colorful meal. The next thing we're going to do is do some cucumbers. I'm going to put my cucumbers on the side there. Look how this is coming out. It's so delicious and beautiful. And then the last thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take some seaweed. So I got just some seaweed paper. You can use like seaweed snacks that they sell. You can use just seaweed rolls that they sell. It doesn't really matter. It's all the same. And I'm just going to kind of sprinkle that in the middle there. And then what I'm going to do is, this is kind of like a soy sauce, sweet sauce. You can just use regular soy sauce. I happen to have the sweet sauce, but soy sauce works great as well. Gonna put some of that on. You can put a little bit of more spicy mayo if you want. Here's the extra spicy mayo that I had that I did not use on my spicy tuna. And then the last thing I'm gonna do is add some sesame, which by the way is also really great source of healthy fat and omega-3s. And this is dinner or lunch. It's so easy. It's really the hardest thing I think is just having all the ingredients home and making sure you have what you want, but it's putting it together takes as long as that just took me. So super, super easy, super colorful, super healthy, really great healthy fats in there for bone health, for brain health, and everything else. So